So today we're going to be making these adorable little love bugs just in time for Valentine's Day. To start, what we're going to have to do is gather all our materials, and we are going to need some craft wire, about 5 inches. We're going to need a medium-sized needle felting needle, a mat, core wool. This is what is going to be making the structure of your love bug. And this is what is going to be decorating your love bug. These are the tops wools. I've got a light pink, a dark pink, red, and black. We're also going to do a little shortcut. Instead of felting our wings, we're just going to use this pink felt that we're going to cut out into 2 little hearts. And also you will need an owl, some little eyes. If you don't have these things, that's fine. You can just use your black tops wool and you can make some eyes that way, and some glue for the wings. So let's get started. Okay, the first thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be measuring out approximately 5 inches of craft wire. We're going to just give that a snip. Take our wire, do a little crisscross so you make like a little head on the bottom there. Make sure each side of your antenna are even. Give a little twist, hold it. And then what I like to do, I either take my owl or I take a broken needle and I just do a little twist a few times. That gives me the curly cues for my antlers. My antenna. I don't think love bugs have antlers. Here we go. Twist, twist, twist. Ta-da! There. Now that we have that, we are going to take our core wool. This is our core wool. This is the stuffing wool. This wool is not carded. It is not all in fine. Where's a good example? This one. This is all brushed out. It is carded. It is a little bit more difficult to felt for sculpting and making little details, where this, the fibers lock together a lot easier and you can make your shapes and your forms a lot better with it. So I always start with a core wool, and then I just put the tops wool on top for my color and decoration. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of this, and you'll notice in the wool there are little pieces of grass and things like that. That is okay. It is washed. This has no smell whatsoever. It's just the way it comes off of the sheep. So I'm going to make a little circle. The tighter I start with when felting, the better. I give it a lot of pressure on there. Watch your fingers and start poking. You're going to attach it, that was my hair in there, directly on to that wire. Now this project is not going to take a lot of time at all because there isn't a lot of detail felting. What we're going to be doing is just making some really basic shapes. And I even decided that, you know what, it's okay to cheat for this one and use the cutout felt for the wings. Okay, we're gonna add a little bit more. We're getting it in all into a very nice shape. Keep poking, 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 poking all around. I love the sound of that. It never gets old. I find this craft to be so therapeutic, so relaxing. You can just forget about all your troubles, or you can feel your frustration and just stab the crap out of something and get it out. So once it's in this shape, it's looking a little rough around the edges. I've got some little loose fibers hanging out. I'm gonna push it down, shape it with my fingers, and then I see where I need to add some more pokes. If the little bits and things of grass and debris bother you, absolutely feel free to pick them out. So this is just, I'm not going all the way through in my poking. I'm just helping these fibers that were sticking out on the edges just to settle down into this ball. Sometimes the grass and debris will just start poking out and you have no choice but to get it out of your way. So one thing I've noticed, what happens is I'm not getting a good cover on the top, so I'm having to add more wool onto that top right in there. Just take another little bit, bring it around, and then we can start working it in this way from the top. So I decided for my shape of my little love bug, I wanted to have a very pronounced nose. I don't know why, but it just made the simplicity of the smile underneath very, very easy to do. It gives it a little cartoonish look, which is what I like, a touch of whimsy. And it is very, very easy to remember how to make them. Should probably have a pattern for this. In my next video, if I do more complicated projects, I definitely will get into some patterns for you guys. All the supplies too, if you look on Amazon under needle felting supplies is where you'll be able to get your supplies to do this project. Actually, I got the craft wool, not the craft wool, the craft wire. I got that from the dollar store. The felt is from the dollar store. My needle felting, I have a wool budding mat. It looks like it's in rough shape. I do a lot of felting. I probably do an hour to 2 hours a day. So it has a lot of wear and tear on it. I think it works really well though. It's not losing its stiffness. It still has a lot of give. I feel like it's holding up really well. And I've had this one for about, a year. Yeah, about a year. It does collect all of the little bits from the pieces of wool. You can use like a little scraper to scrape them off, which I do usually if I got a lot of color on there. I don't want to be mixing it up. Okay, that is looking good. So now we're going to add a little nose. What I do is I take more of my core wool. I really want to make a tight little ball like this. Put it on, and there we go. Once we get that, we're going to add in our pink wool on the top. Kind of gives me like a little caterpillar look at this point. Reminds me maybe like an Alice in Wonderland kind of bug for some reason. So we've got these little tiny bits of grass. This is not a bug, it's just a little, oops, and it hopped away. That's good, we don't want it on there anyway. Okay, now I'm going to be adding in this nice soft pink. This is going to go right over the face. To lay on there, you can just kind of like open it up a little bit. Give it another twist. See how we're covering it all up. And get that pink. You absolutely could start just using this tops wool. You could fold this up, get the shape you want, however you want to do that, and start doing that. I have a hard time sculpting with detail on a tops wool. I think the topsoil is exactly what its name is. It is just to be putting onto the surface of a formed sculpture that has been formed with a core wool. That's just my experience. At one point I was using a polyester fill. That was effective too. I got some really, really nice detail using that. I can't find the right fill anymore. I'm not sure what happened, if it was just some way they were creating the polyester fiber fill with the way the cutting machine was cutting it and how it was all interlocking together. It was amazing. And then that product changed. So I went to the core wool. I use Condo's core wool, and I'm finding it to be very, very nice to work with. So keep going, keep going, keep going. You have this point here. Bring more definition by angling your needle. You're not going straight down with your needle, you're angling your needle in a little bit to bring that definition underneath the nose. Push, push, push. And see how you're making a little line. It's exactly what we want. If you do see, I'm just straightening out there. I twist my projects all over. See where I need to get my outlines in. There. Very, very cute. You can tap that down. If you're not if you want to make it a little bit more brighter, add another layer. I'm happy with the way this looks. So I'm going to just come in with my black. I'm going to take a little piece and really you only need a very little piece. So we're going to just twist it. And I'm making a strand. Can you see that? Twisting, twisting, twisting. Twisting those fibers together, getting them on a good start. Let's do another little twist here. And in it goes. You can already see at this point, this little bug looks like he's starting to have a little bit of a personality. I think he's a little bit goofy, I would say. Poke, poke, poke. How cute is that? So now what do? We have this great big long piece here. We're going to give it another push. And I'm going to actually trim. I don't think I can get it nicely wrapped in all the way, so I'm going to just trim it. There we go. Now we're going to, oh, see what happened as we were working on his nose, things shifted up here. So we can just wiggle it back in. See where it needs to go. Couple pokes back onto that wire. Now I am, for this sculpt, I'm keeping my back flat. On some of my love bugs, I have made them, I hang around and I'll show you 3 different ways that we can style them. I loved making them into a little garland with lights. And there's 2 other ways that they are gonna look fantastic. Okay, what I love about this too is you're gonna bring your own little personality and your own little magic to it. So now we're gonna need some eyes for this guy. I've got this set of eyes. I'm using some pretty small ones. This is the size I want. I don't know if you can see that. It's cute. And you need to use an owl for that. Owl. I don't know. Not an owl. You know what I mean. Here we go. Bada boom, bada bing. You can put a little bit of glue on there, or you can just kind of like bend it over. There, so cute. Our little love bug. It's coming along. Okay, well, now we need another one right here. Make sure you don't poke your fingers all the way through. Drop the eye in. Boop. There he is. So I just do a little twist. Bada boom, bada bing. There is your love bug's little face. So sweet. Now for the body. What I do for the body is I take a piece of core wool. It's not very thick. About this much. That would sit in the palm of my hand. And I'm going to start to shape it. The shape that I want it to be, rather tightly. Okay. And then I'm just going to start stabbing, holding that shape. There we go. I get it all down, and then I will twist it. I have to peel it off of my mat. This is how my mat gets so messy. So you gotta peel it off. Now we want our back side to be flat, and we can work in the pieces. See how it all didn't go through? See how it didn't all get stuck together? So I've turned it to its side. I'm working on this, getting all those fibers locked together. Okay, now I'm not really worried about the size yet. What I will do is I'll determine how big this needs to be once I lay the face back over it. Now this piece of grass is a little bit too big for my comfort level. I'm going to pull that out, because it might cause a little bit of problems with the other top spool trying to stick on there. You shouldn't be able to see any of the grass with the top spool. So another thing I do is I take it like this. The heat of my hands is also going to help it stick together and taking its shape, which is very nice. This is looking to be the right size. So I noticed with this wool, this is red I purchased probably 2 years ago, and I would say that it is not carded. If you can see how those fibers are running in all different directions. And when I do that with this one, pretty much this one is a little bit, it's more straight. So, and it feels different. This actually felt very good. I just didn't want to waste all of it to make the body. I don't know. It's just my preference. You can do you if you want to use all red, all of a top spool, sculpt from that. It might take you a little bit longer, but definitely you could do it. So I'm just getting this laid down as quickly as I can. I'm probably going to speed the video up at this point, there's going to be a lot of poking. Needle felting really does take a long time. Okay, again, see, you can see my light spots. I'm not getting it all, but that's okay. You can just push it down Awesome. Okay, there we go. Can do the rolling, bringing them in. Do a little squeeze, 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 squeeze. Okay, and I see where I have a bare spot, so I'm just going to take a piece like this. I'm going to lay it on top. There, working it in really nicely. I didn't want to switch needles. This is a beginner project with the type of wool I'm working with for the amount of details I'm trying to achieve, just using a basic medium size. I'm not sure the gauge that this is, but do whatever needle you are comfortable with. Yes, I can see that I do have some little holes in my wool. I'm fine with that for this project. That is not bothering me at all. I find that running my fingers over them does help them to kind of like smooth out. I can in another video do some needles. We can go over the different size needles that we need. But because Valentine's Day is only, what, 5 days away, I thought, let's just do this quickly with things that people probably would have at hand or they can get off of Amazon real quick. Okay, so once that is all covered, I decide where I want to put my head, which is right there. I'm going to go in a little bit from the front and start pushing it down. Oops, he's getting stuck on there. That's okay. I'm going to turn him over. You could do a little glue here at this point if you want. I don't think I need to do any glue. Be careful coming this way. So when you poke through here, you could actually end up getting some red into his face. We don't want that. So keep at the top of the head. Okay. Try not to go into that red too much. There we go. Okay, he is looking so cute. Yeah. He or she is a sweetie. I am loving it. Feeling, ow! Yeah, so that happens sometimes when we poke our finger. That is just par for the course in doing this craft. Just don't get blood on the work. That's what I say. Okay, now our head is on pretty firm. There we go. How cute is that? What I do is I put another little layer of, so on this one, I'll show you. This one has a pink body, so it has like a little bit of a red little scarf on it. That's another way just to make sure that the head is going to stay fastened to the body, and it gives it a cute little, I don't know, cute little flair to it. So I take my pink wool, I kind of like pull it apart a bit. I want this to be fluffy. I want it to almost look like a little feathery boa for the neck. So I'm just going to do lightly in between the neck and body, attaching it like that, pulling it up. This is what gives it that fuzzy kind of boa look to it. You can keep it long, you can do it short, whatever you want. I think every little wisp of wool adds some kind of element to expressing the sculpt's personality. And I mean, I get lost. I will wander into wonderful places of imagination while I am doing my craft. Like, I will just end up being so inspired by what I see forming. Oh my goodness. So yes, the eyes are coming out a little bit. And push them back in. How cute is that? Now we're just going to add some very, very tiny pieces. So just take a little bit, roll these up in your fingers, and then we're going to put these in like this. There's your dots. I'm going to do this one. And then, oh, so fine and wispy. You can make 2 dots at the same time. Just rub them together really tight. If you want, you can have like a little cup of water. Add some water to them. I have never been a wet felter. Wet felting is a thing where you use water, soap, bubbly wrap, and you work the fibers together that way. You can make purses and hats and all kinds of amazing things. I just prefer to do the needle felting. Just seems to be my thing. So there. Now what we're going to do, we're going to set him aside for a second. We're just going to grab our felt, and I'm going to cut about that much, and I'm going to freehand a heart. Just bring it around. There we go. We're going to do one more. It's a little bit wonky, but you know what? It does look like a wing at the same time. I'm going to do another one. Sorry, did I move out of shot? There we go. There. So what we're going to do, now it's time for our glue. You can use a hot glue gun too. This glue I find works really good on fabric. It actually came with like a little kit, a miniature kit. Okay, and there it is. All done. A lovely love bug. Another thing that you can do with these, which is a lot of fun, is get these little earth magnets. They're very powerful. They come in a little box like this, and you can hot glue this right to the back. It's going to stick anywhere. My favorite thing is, and I love this, I did a garland, a whole strip of these. I'll show you. Love it, love it, love it. What a fun way to display our little love bugs. Okay, thanks for watching so much. I hope you enjoyed this, and if you did, like and subscribe, and I will definitely be bringing more YouTube videos coming soon. Take care, guys.